Hello, you good things. G'day and welcome to the Slice for AFL Play. My name is Rog.
And I'm Star.
And this is for the playmakers, for anyone who's ever picked up the footy or enjoyed the game from the sidelines. We are going to be serving you a slice of play every week right here on The Slice. How are you?
I am great, Rog. I have had a very exciting week and I have been stinging to tell you about my 6-pointer for this week because it is a doozy, to steal some of your words.
A doozy? Do I say doozy?
I feel like you say it. It is a doozy.
I don't know if I say a doozy. I might say it's an absolute ripper.
An absolute
all-timer. It is elite. Anyway, well, fire us off. Let's not waste any time then.
Okay, so this week I got to live out one of my childhood dreams.
Wow.
As we know, I am a host and I do some presenting work as well. And I got an invitation to the premiere of the Wiggles documentary.
Oh, the most anticipated film of the year.
I know. And when this invite came through, I just thought, oh my goodness, this is just going to be so great. What I didn't know is that I would actually be meeting my childhood heroes and also interviewing them.
You met the Wiggles?
The original Wiggles.
The OG Wiggles.
The OGs.
They're the GOATs. Did you meet the new era Wiggles as well or just the OGs?
Yes, I did. But most importantly, I met the OGs. So I got to meet Greg, Yellow Wiggle, Anthony.
Which one am I?
Jeff, wake up, Jeff. And of course, Murray. So I got to meet them on the red carpet. I got to interview them. And I have had the absolute pleasure of meeting some pretty cool people through my job. But honestly, this just felt like it's up there. I don't know. When I look back on my year in review, obviously the Slice is going to be number 1. Like Wiggles might be number 2.
Were you a Wiggles kid?
Yes, absolutely.
Me too.
I was obsessed.
I was so diehard Wiggles, like a way bigger Wiggles fan than you. I was so diehard Wiggles that I refused to watch High Five. Like my cousin's house, my cousin Cooper, he was a High Five house. I refused to watch it. So that is like the coolest thing ever.
It was epic. And just quickly, my 1-pointer for this week, obviously the good isn't the good without, the things that aren't so great.
Bit of yin and yang.
That's
the
it.
The good and the bad, the black and the white.
My 1-pointer for this week is that I felt like I'm in a bit of a mental flop era with my running. I've, been training for my first 5K, and a 5K run to some people watching this might be really easy, but for me, it's been a really great challenge, and I've really struggled to, get into the zone, I think, lately. So if you have any tips for me on how to get out of my mental flop era, please let me know.
I think that you just got to do something. And I know that sounds simple, but if you throw the runners on and you go for like a 2-minute walk, better than nothing. So you just work your way up, just find a way, do 2 push-ups, do 3 sit-ups, do whatever you have to, get a start, and then you'll build momentum from there.
Oh, thanks, Rog.
That went into a bit of our sort of when we give our advice to the listener sort of operation, which we love. We don't give advice to each other enough. But my 1-pointer, Star, is that, and I know that I talk about my dating life a lot, but I'm talking to a girl at the moment almost daily, which isn't something I do often over text. And we get to the end of the day, we've been chatting all day, so I send a good night message, sleep well, little X on the end maybe.
Oh, that's so nice.
And she doesn't say it back. Not once all week. We've been talking all week. So that's 7 nights. I've sent good nights. Sometimes she'll like react or like heart react, but she never says good night back. And I don't know whether to pull her up on it and say, is it rude to not say good night when someone says good night?
I think it's such a nice thing that you are sending the good night message. But the like feels pretty brutal.
It does.
If you're getting no response.
She'll message first thing in the morning and message all day. Not like this. She's absolutely interested, but just refuses to say good night. So that's my 1-pointer.
Is she the one to send the good morning message the next day?
She won't send a good morning. She'll just send a conversation starter about whatever's happened with her cornflakes that morning or whatever it may be. Maybe not cornflakes, but whatever's happening in her day.
Let us know. If you're watching this, what do you think? Do you think a good night message has to be reciprocated?
I think it does.
Or is it fine?
Hurts my feelings. My 6-pointer is that, and this could almost be a 1-pointer if you asked me for like 4 years ago or even 1 year ago. But my 6-pointer is that my housemates, Checkers and Stray, the Marmalade Blues, went away to Hobart and then Adelaide all week.
Yep.
So I haven't seen them. I've had the house to myself. A whole 3-bedroom ripper house in Richmond. I've had the whole joint to myself and I felt like a bit of a king. But you would think that that would mean that, I'm having parties with all of my mates that maybe, I couldn't have around normally because they need to sleep or whatever it might be. I have done nothing all week. I've gotten home from work, kicked back, maybe with, a bottle of wine or something there, and I'll kick back just watching the TV, doing absolutely nothing with my night, and I have loved it.
Independent king.
The peace and quiet, cook up my dinner, don't have to worry about anyone else. And I just sit back. Ask me that 1 year ago, it would be house party every night, but now I just love my chill time.
You're growing up, Rog.
Absolutely, absolutely. Star, as you know, I grew up in and around footy clubs. They are the lifeblood of the communities. I did all my growing up at the Banyule Football Club, and these footy clubs cannot run without the volunteers.
Mm-hmm.
The coaches and the players, they get plenty of recognition, but the people you don't see enough of behind the scenes, they're the ones that really keep it going. So what an honour it is today to be joined by the 2023 Toyota AFL National Volunteer of the Year. This is an award that should be more prestigious than the Brownlow Medal. And we do have on the line the Volunteer of the Year, Carissa.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Congratulations. How did it feel to take home this prestigious award?
I'm still getting my head around it all, to be quite honest. It was a real shock. Didn't know I'd been nominated, so it's exciting and kind of very humbling, that's for sure.
Carissa, how long have you been volunteering for?
I have been volunteering at the Port Macquarie Magpies. I would say this is my 5th year.
Oh, wow.
5th year, and I went straight onto committee with volunteering, from sidelines to committee.
Sensational. How did you get involved in the football clubs? Probably my favourite part about playing footy is that people come from all different walks of life. They find different reasons to come down. How did you get involved in the Port Macquarie Magpies?
My husband and my family, we relocated from Melbourne up to Port Macquarie, and we thought, if we want to meet people with similar interests up here, it might be great to get connected to the local football club. My husband hadn't played in quite a number of years, and he went down and went, yeah, I think this looks okay, I can do this. And becoming friends with people that were playing, and actually on the committee at the time, the president at the time, we became quite good friends with him, and he was like, you should get a little bit more involved. How would you feel about getting on the committee next year? And I went, I think I can do that. So I had a look at all the position descriptions and tried to pick the easiest looking one to get started. And I thought treasurer looks pretty cruisy. I can pay bills. And so that's where I started. I got nominated into treasurer, and that's where it all began.
And we would love to know, what has been the highlight of your volunteering career?
Oh, apart from winning the award, it's really hard. I can't really look back and say that there's one big thing that comes to mind, but I think when I get to the end of every Saturday, and we've had our 4 games of football from our 18s to our seniors then, and just seeing it all come together, and seeing the happiness or sadness after a win, and the people on the sidelines being involved, I get to the end of every Saturday, and I just feel it's just a lot of self-satisfaction having helped bring all that together. So to me, it's just a highlight. I just love football season. I think we get to the end of it, we're all a bit tired, and we kind of look forward to the end of it, and then you get a few weeks later and you're like, gee, I miss that.
Oh, you're spot on, Carissa. I thought I was burnt out from footy at the end of it, but here we are a few weeks after the season ended, and I'm just absolutely frothing to get back into it. Now, Carissa, we want you to pump yourself up here. When you win an award like this, it's easy to just talk yourself down and play it as if you haven't done much, but clearly you've won the Volunteer of the Year award for good reason. Why exactly do you believe you are this year's Toyota Volunteer of the Year?
Yeah, I think coming into the role as president, I came into it with a lot of ideas on how we could progress as a club and really connect to community, especially being in New South Wales where it's a lot of rugby. Getting AFL out there, it's a little bit more work. So I think some of the things, some initiatives that I thought up were, we approached Centrelink, and we've become an accredited volunteer organisation. So people on Centrelink payments can volunteer with us and meet their mutual obligations rather than looking for work. We also have connected to community quite a bit and gotten ourselves out there and increased our sponsorships by about 600% this year.
Wow.
So, whilst that's financial, it's showing that message of AFL and that want to support us as growing in the community. We also this year brought about our first ever Indigenous sponsorships. So that we can sponsor Indigenous players,
awesome.
To overcome barriers in getting into sport. And we introduced our Indigenous design jumper, not just for Indigenous round. We connected with a local artist. It's a beautiful, beautiful art piece, really, and it's got an amazing story. And it's now actually our home jumper. It is not just for Indigenous round. We just wanted to really embrace that and go, when we play at home, this is what we wear. So
That's awesome.
I think there were other things, but they're the main things that we kind of some of the ideas that I bought this year. But whilst they were my ideas, there were plenty of people behind me that brought those to life. So none of that would have happened without the other people in the club and the committee members that helped bring those ideas to life.
And what does your role look like on game day and during the week?
I'll start with during the week. During the week, obviously attending training. I do play for the women's team as well.
How good.
Not so well. I'm 3 years in the forward line and only got my first goal this year. So
congratulations! The first sausage roll. Can you talk us through the goal quickly?
Look, it's not that spectacular, to be honest. We were right in front of the goals. I was on the ground and I was the first one to get my boot out soccer-like. So
off the deck.
But I will take it. It was a pretty exciting moment. So after that, I can retire now. I've got my goal. So.
That's one more than what I've got in about 15 years of playing, Carissa, so you're ahead of me.
Yeah, thank you. So during the week, obviously there's training 2 times a week. There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that goes on in bringing the actual whole club together, and not just game day. Being president at the moment, there's a lot of emails that come through from the AFL. There's a lot of questions coming through from players, families, coaches, around rulings and how things should be done, changes to game day, chatting to other presidents, all those types of things. But then when game day comes along, there's the setting up of the ground, there's making sure that we have everything that we need from game day balls, like just simple little things. Getting the canteen up and running. We unfortunately struggled to fill our canteen with volunteers this year, so I spent quite a lot of time in there doing the shopping for the canteen, sweeping out club rooms at the end of the game, making sure everything's locked up, rubbish is done, and there's probably a million things I'm missing.
No, that is plenty, Carissa, and that's what makes a footy club run, and it's no doubt why you have won this award, so congratulations to you. With the women's team, have you noticed a growth in the last few years in the game in Port Macquarie?
Oh, 100%. I keep saying that I feel like we'll get a second seniors women's team before we get a second men's. They're sensational. We get really strong numbers with our women's, and I won't lie, they are the absolute backbone to the club. Everyone hears me say that all the time. They're ones that will pick up a water bottle. They'll volunteer to fill the gaps. They are the drivers of getting everybody to every social event. They're the absolute heart of our club, our women's team.
Carissa, it sounds like you've absolutely got it all under control, but we've got one that you probably don't see on game day, and that is a game of Would You Rather. So Star and I are going to throw a couple of voluntary type situations at you, and I want to know which one you would rather.
I love Would You Rather. Let's go.
So kick us off.
Would you rather be on Sausage Sizzle or collecting raffle tickets?
I would say I would rather be on Sausage Sizzle, and the reason for that is because I do so much running around on the day. If I can stop in one spot for a little bit, I'll take it.
Plus, there's a bit of pride in turning the sausages, I reckon. When you say you've cooked the perfect snag, you see someone with their onions and barbecue sauce, I reckon that's a pretty good feeling. Maybe Carissa could be your new sort of gimmick you run with at the footy club.
I think the boys will run with that when they hear that one.
All right, next up. Would you rather your half-time snack be an orange slice, or do we revolutionise the game and perhaps tuck into some half-time dim sims?
Oh, mate, I'm going to go to dim sims.
Steamed or fried?
Oh, look, I love fried, but at the footy, it's got to be the steamed ones. There's something about footy and steamed dim sims.
I'm with you.
But look, I've got a theory to that. My theory is protein.
Ah, there you
keep that protein
go.
up.
Carissa, would you rather have a reunion with all your favourite players or take your current team to the grand final?
Oh, definitely take current team to the grand final. We just missed out. Well, if we're talking with my AFL team, we just missed out this year. So I would love to see them in the grand final. But, our Port Magpies made the grand final too. So that was a good trade-off.
How good. Did you win the grand final?
Unfortunately, not this year. It was a little bit of a magpie off, we called it, because it was us versus Byron Bay, and they're also the Byron Bay Magpies.
Who was first?
Byron Bay.
Nothing wrong with a copycat. We love a copycat because you do it better.
Yeah, look, it was a fantastic game, and the coach walked away going, "This just encourages him to just strive to be even better next year."
And the last question I've got for you, Carissa, would you rather kick 12 goals in a losing grand final, or be the worst player on the ground and not have a disposal in a 1-point win?
I'll take the 1 point win because that's probably a little bit of me now.
Yeah, true, actually.
I
That is relatable.
call myself, I went in saying I'll be the bench warmer and just help out. And I ended up spending a lot more time on the field than what I thought I was going to. So, it's all about the team, right? So if we can get that team win, it's not about me, it's about our team. So I'll take that win.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well, it's been unreal chatting to you, Carissa. We can't congratulate you enough on the 2023 Toyota AFL National Volunteer of the Year award. You should be incredibly proud of yourself, and I'm sure the Port Macquarie Magpies appreciate you greatly. Thank you so much for coming on, and enjoy your new nickname of Carissa.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. It's been great.
All right, bring it in. Huddle in, everyone. What an that was so much fun.
Everyone in the big huddle. This is like, at the end of the game when you probably don't know, but when you do bring it in and you've got everyone there and you're looking at each other in the eyes and you know that you've put your body on the line for the teammate opposite you so you can walk away with that win. That's how I feel right now when I look at your star.
Oh, it's been a good episode, hasn't it? We got to chat to Carissa.
Yeah, absolutely. Now known as Carissa, but the Volunteer of the Year, which was absolutely sensational and one of the highlights of my whole year on the slice, I reckon.
Yeah, me too. Carissa has really shown us what community footy is all about, and I feel really light and fluffy and happy after that chat.
Absolutely. Maybe you should sign up to a club next year and maybe give her a run for her money and see if you can be next year's Toyota Volunteer of the Year.
But thank you so much for tuning into this episode of The Slice. We will be back same time next Wednesday. Make sure you follow us on socials at AFLPLAY so you don't miss a thing. Hit that subscribe button as well so you don't miss an episode. As always, we love you, we miss you, and we can't wait to see you next week right here on The Slice. Okay, bye.
Catch you, legends. The Slice, presented by AFL Play, is hosted by Star MCG and Connor Rogers.
The Slice is recorded and produced at Amplify Studios, situated on Gadigal land. We pay our respects to the traditional owners of the land and waters in which we record on.